So how do you think the conference will enable us to set an agenda for the future of journalism in Wales?
Well, one of my main interests is in news black holes and in the democratic deficit in places where traditional journalism has withdrawn from communities. And so getting all of these people in a room together to talk about that and acknowledge that there is a problem for a start is really important. I think that very often it's too easy to throw away these arguments and say, oh, it's all right, because it's everything's online now, so there's this whole digital world and people can access information now in a way that they couldn't before, so everything's okay. We don't need to worry about the death of local newspapers or the decline in circulations or the lack of journalists working in communities anymore. But actually, the research that I've done shows that there is a real problem with news black holes and in the way people can access information, really important information that helps them live their lives. There is a democratic deficit in even measures like volunteering or the strength of communities, or even in election turnouts. I found quite a drop after the withdrawal of journalism from Port Talbot. And so we've got to start acknowledging that there is a problem with local journalism and that we need local journalism. It's really important to communities to have local journalism, to maintain the civic and democratic health, the health of the public sphere. So we've got to get together and acknowledge that there's a problem and then find ways to try and address that problem, and to try and persuade people at large that journalism is a force for good.
Okay, what do you think, after the conference today, are the priority steps that need to be taken in order to get where we need to be?
Okay, so the first thing really is to acknowledge that there is a problem and that journalism matters to communities, to try and find ways to fund journalists in communities as well who are working on fourth estate journalism and within communities who are very closely linked, so have officers there who can go out face to face, who aren't relying necessarily on press releases or information subsidies, who are able to go out and speak to people face to face. So it's beginning to grapple with some of those issues, I would say, is very key. How we fund the provision of those local journalists has got to be the priority for everybody, and it's what everybody's talking about now, obviously. That's the title of the conference, but how we pay for that and how we ensure that that remains in the communities where it already is, how we safeguard it, but also how we bring it back to communities where perhaps it's been lost, has got to be a key concern.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you very much.